Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. Please let me know if you're able to hear me. I see Barbara and Jeanette and Jenny and Barry. We'll wait a few more minutes to make sure that everyone's able to log on.
There I am, number 2. There aren't many of us. Oh, and are there? Gee, that's disappointing.
Hi, Jerry, Jeanette, Jenny, Greg, hello. Nice to meet you.
Hi. Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud.
Wow. I'll be darned.
Wonderful to meet all of you. We had about 25 people register, so we'll wait a few more minutes to have everyone be able to log on. We know that Zoom can be challenging to troubleshoot sometimes. I will send a reminder.
It took me about 3 ways to figure out how to get in.
Yeah, that's normal. It's a little challenging sometimes. How's everyone doing this evening? If you're
Good.
able to write in the chat, I would love to hear if you are a returned Peace Corps volunteer, the years that you served and where you served. And we'll do some introductions in a few minutes here.
Okay. Well, I'm Greg Kroll. I was in Colombia from 71 to 74, 1 year on the Caribbean coast working in park management, and then 2 years in La Macarena in the Orinoco, working in what would have been called community development. But I was actually working as a person representing the Park Service, trying to help out the local campesinos and colonos.
Fantastic. What a great service. Thank you for
I
sharing.
hope so.
Yeah. All right. Any others that would like to share? You can either write in the chat or you're welcome to unmute yourself and just tell us, since we're a pretty small group here. Hi, Jenny.
Oh, sure.
Good to see you.
I'm Jenny May. I was in Tolima in 1971-73, working in school lunch programs with the Coffee Growers Federation, and I knew Greg Kroll.
All right.
Yes, we were there together at the same time.
She even visited me in the Orinoco.
Yes, I did, and he had a toucan whose name was Bolivar.
Oh my goodness. That's so fun.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Oh, what a great Peace Corps pet.
Greg was in what was probably the most remote place in Colombia. The only way you could get there was once a week, a plane flew in, or else you went down the river. There was no road.
Wow. That's incredible. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Jenny. It's great to see you. All right. I see some others have joined. If you are interested and would like to share, I'd love to hear about your Peace Corps service. Go ahead, Barry. I see you.
I was in Colombia before some of you were born, 63 to 65, working in an educational television program in primary schools. And I lived in a small town in Cundinamarca called Facatativá, and went to many, many village towns in that state, all having to do with educational television.
Fantastic.
Long time ago.
That's fantastic.
Almost 60 years, 59 years ago.
Have you been back Sincere.
many times, many times. And I'm very close to a family that I met 1 month after arriving at my site. And I'm still intimate friends with this whole family that are spread all over the place now.
Well, that's really lovely to hear. I find the program area of community television, educational television, very fascinating because we definitely don't have anything like that anymore.
Well, at that time, there was one television channel owned by the government, and they decided to use it for education during the day. So that's how it started.
That was it. Yeah, that was what you were working with. Wow. Very different. Thank you so much for sharing, Barry. Great to meet you. Barbara, I see your chat. Barbara says she was in Pueblo near Cali, which is great because that is close to the subject of our documentary today, I believe, in Valle de Cuaca. And you were in Salud Pública, community development, homemaking, and first aid. Wow, that's a lot of really good life skills to teach. That's fantastic. All right. Any others who would like to share about their service or why they're here? If you maybe you weren't a volunteer, but you're connected to one.
Or your service.
Yes, I'll definitely. We will introduce ourselves for sure.
Okay, all right.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Earl.
Hi, it's Earl Kessler. I was there in the dark ages as well, 65 to 68. And I was in Rio for 2 years, and then I was in Cartagena for one, where we did this really wonderful work in school construction. And then I was working with a community along the Canal del Dique to develop the rural new town of Puerto Badel. And that's what I wrote my book about. It took me 40 years to write the bloody thing, but I carried these letters from Alfonso around with me every place that I was assigned, which was everywhere around the world. And finally, we moved here to Santa Fe, and our first winter, we had 40 inches of snow, and our little adobe didn't have a heater. So wrapped in a blanket, I sat down and I said, Earl, now's the time or never. And so I wrote the book. But I go back there frequently. I am a little bit disappointed in Cartagena because Cartagena used to be Cartagena La Heroica, and now it's Cartagena La Turística, and it's not an improvement. But the place is still beautiful, and I have to sort of watch myself to be the Grinch about Cartagena. But when I was there, it was glorious and benign neglect everywhere. And it was where you realize that Cartagena, even for its historic founding, the quality of the city came from the Cartageneros, and they were just everywhere. And now it's not so easy for them to be who they are. But anyway, but that was mine, and it would set me on my trail and my trajectory into international development that has been going on now for 50 years. That's it. Over.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing, Earl. That's this whole life story right there in just a few minutes. I really appreciate you sharing that. And yes, it's amazing to see the development. And I mean that in the whole sense of the term of some of the cities of Colombia, both the good and the bad. So I can definitely understand that. All right. Anyone else who has not had the chance to say hello or introduce themselves? I think I see David Band. Is that you? Hi. You're welcome to introduce yourself, David, if you can hear me. But you're on mute right now.
Hello,
Hi.
David Band. I'm the father of a former volunteer, Michael, and wanted to join. That's all. I don't know.
All right, that's fine. Thank you so much, David. I appreciate you being here. Good to see you as always.
Yeah, good to see you.
All right, anyone else? I know that there's several others that wanted to be here but couldn't make it, so we're going to record the session and as well as give you a link to follow up with the documentary in case you'd like to view it again. But with that, I'll open up our formal program. So good afternoon or evening, depending upon where you are. It is a pleasure to have all of you here today. My name is Jenna Glickman, and I am one of the co-presidents of Friends of Colombia. As you all know, Friends of Colombia has been around for, oh gosh, over 30 years now, being the point of contact for Return Peace Corps volunteers to connect, to share stories, and to support projects back home, or in our home, Colombia. So thank you all for coming today. We wanted to give you a little sense of Colombia through one of the grants that we funded last year. And with that, I would like to turn it over to Alyssa to introduce herself and talk a little bit about the grant program.
Thanks, Jenna. Hi, I'm Alyssa. I served in a small town outside of Cartagena from 2016 to 2018. And I'm now a co-president with Jenna, and I'm currently in California. That's where I'm from, but usually I live in DC. And yeah, so our grant program, we are currently selecting grantees for this round for 2022. We get about 12-ish applicants a year. We started the program 2 years ago during 2020. And so far we've gotten some great projects from it. I can send a link to the page, but a good diversity of, like, we have a volleyball league, we have a youth camp, environmental projects, like solar panel projects. So lots of different things, and they're very much small organizations that don't get a lot of support, and the projects wouldn't happen otherwise. So yeah, and this documentary was a great way to get involved with birding and on the Pacific coast where we don't often work. So yeah, I'm excited to see how this documentary is received. And I can pass it to Kendra or Mauricio to introduce themselves.
Maybe I'll start and then I'll introduce Mauricio. Hi, everyone. My name is Kendra Hasnick. I am a Peace Corps volunteer from, Colombia 2-3. So that was 2011 to 2015. And I did not leave in 2015. So I started in Barranquilla, which is on the Caribbean coast, and I didn't want to leave. So I continued to live in Santa Marta and Valledupar, and I taught English to bird guides as part of a bird tourism program related to Audubon, and still couldn't get enough of Colombia. So I moved to Cali, which is on the Pacific coast, where I worked for another 4 years and where I met Mauricio. And the Caribbean coast has incredible birds. The Pacific coast maybe even has more spectacular birds. And the project that I worked in empowered local community members as part of the Sustainable Tourism Project, with the idea that if we involve the locals in the tourism, we're involving the locals in the conservation of these important birding sites, and therefore, of course, the birds themselves. And we're encouraging locals to be able to continue treating the ecology with respect, instead of having to cut down trees or mine or whatever things that they would need to do to take care of their families. So Mauricio, that's how I met Mauricio, maybe 3 or 4 years ago now. Mauricio will tell us a little bit about where he's from, but he is a little humble. So I'm going to tell you guys, his photography is incredible. His photography in general is spectacular. His bird photography is spectacular. My bird photography is awful. Birds are very hard to take care of. I understand now how difficult it is to take pictures of birds. Mauricio is just a magician when it comes to bird photography. So you are all in for a treat. All right, Mauricio, now that I embarrassed you, I'd like to introduce everyone to Mauricio. Your turn.
Hi, everyone. First of all, I apologize for my English. I prepare a speech. Maybe I can read the speech because my English is not so good.
Are you
Sorry for that. Can I start? Okay, I'm start. The short documentary is called Why Birds Matter. My name is Mauricio Medina. I'm Colombian. After several months touring different places, forests and ecosystems, under different climates and environmental conditions, and knowing beautiful places and different wonderful people who helped me, and thanks to the sponsorship of Friends of Colombia, I have finished my short documentary inspired by the January 2018 issue of National Geographic magazine called Why Birds Matter. Why Birds Matter. I live here in Yumbo. It's a town near to Cali, a municipality recognized for the large number of companies that operate in it. Therefore, the contamination present in this territory is high, endangering the survival of many species of fauna and flora. In fact, there is a popular saying in my municipality that says, in Yumbo, the birds do not sing, but they cough. In fact, this collective vision of the inhabitants of my municipality made me even more interested in showing some of the biological wealth of Yumbo and the department of the Valle de Cuaca. It was an interesting effort because the making of this documentary put to the test many of my capabilities, both technological and personal, giving me hundreds of memories, experiences, and knowledge of the diverse realities that the natural world faces in our country along the way. Much remains to be told, but it will be the perfect excuse to continue looking for those stories and realities that the bird life in general, the natural world have in this wonderful and beautiful country. And that's it. Thank you everyone for this opportunity to share my work with you. And thanks, Kendra, for that presentation. It was so beautiful. I'm ashamed.
Thank you so much, Mauricio. So now I'm going to show the documentary. It is 17 minutes, so it's short but sweet. It is in Spanish and it will have English subtitles. I will ask at the beginning if everyone can hear and see it okay. So just let me know if you cannot. We have a backup plan in case it's not working. After the documentary, we will then come back to the room here where we will have a chance to ask Mauricio questions about his filmmaking or photography or birds or whatever is on your mind. All right, with that, here is the screening of ¿Por qué importan las aves?
En los cielos de nuestro país sobrevuelan casi 2.000 especies distintas de aves. Y la variedad de formas, colores y tamaños que ellas poseen son espectaculares. La mayoría de los seres humanos han pasado gran parte de su vida dando por sentada su existencia y reconociendo solo algunas cuantas especies, observando algunos de sus comportamientos o escuchando a lo lejos sus cantos. Pero sin prestar atención especial a estos seres emplumados, ni entender la complejidad de sus relaciones e interacciones con nuestro entorno y el resto del mundo natural. Interacciones que para la mayoría de las personas pasan desapercibidas. ¿O acaso alguna vez nos hemos preguntado ¿por qué importan las aves? Si pudiésemos ver todas y cada una de las aves del mundo, veríamos el mundo entero. A través de grandes distancias por las aves, cuando se pegan a sus plumas o patas. Se llama dispersión al movimiento de la semilla hasta el lugar donde germina. Esto puede ser tanto cerca como lejos de la planta madre.
Las aves son muy importantes porque son el indicador del estado de conservación de nuestros ecosistemas. Sirven como dispersadores biológicos de semillas, sirven como control de plagas, de insectos, y también para el tema turístico que se está desarrollando en nuestro país. Es un tema que va muy de la mano con las comunidades.
Pues definitivamente las aves son súper importantes para los ecosistemas en términos de polinización y dispersión de semillas. Y en ese caso, pues necesitamos definitivamente esos jardineros del bosque, tanto como también son los primates en nuestros bosques andinos aquí, para que los bosques puedan tener sus dinámicas de autorrecreación y también de proliferación de sus sistemas internos, ¿sí? Eso es súper importante. Además que las aves, más que una importante parte del ecosistema, son súper importantes para conectar a nosotros como humanos con la naturaleza, ¿sí? Inspiran despiertan mucha creatividad, mucho amor con la naturaleza entre nosotros como comunidades y el medio ambiente.
Se ha comprobado que la dispersión de semillas por parte de aves es vital para la regeneración de bosques. La deforestación de grandes terrenos ha afectado el papel que puedan tener las aves. Esto debido al aumento de la distancia que hay entre bosques y la falta de perchas donde posarse.
Bueno, una de las principales amenazas que enfrentan las aves es la pérdida de coberturas boscosas. Cada vez tenemos menos bosques y tenemos más escenarios urbanos, y esto pues es una amenaza directa sobre los ecosistemas de las aves. También una de las amenazas que presentan o que tienen las aves es el tema de los relacionamientos o las interacciones negativas que hay entre los humanos y ellas. Por ejemplo, tenemos especies de aves que han estado al borde de la extinción e incluso algunas extintas. Por ejemplo, en Colombia tenemos uno de los patos, el pato zambullidor, que en este momento es la única ave extinta que tiene Colombia. Entonces esos relacionamientos con los humanos de caza y algunas veces, por ejemplo, se matan a las aves, a las guacharacas o a las pavas porque se comen el maíz o se comen los cultivos. Entonces eso es una gran amenaza, ¿no? Esas interacciones negativas y esas percepciones negativas que tenemos de la fauna, ¿no? Hay, digamos que los cuervos son considerados como aves de mal agüero, y entonces pues por eso en ocasiones también el ser humano entra como a querer disminuir las poblaciones de estas especies tan importantes, no solo, como mencioné ahora, ecosistémicamente, sino también culturalmente.
Otro proceso indispensable para la conservación de los bosques es la polinización. Este es el proceso de transferencia de polen de una flor a otra. Esto es esencial para fecundar los óvulos de las flores, haciendo posible que diversas plantas y árboles puedan desarrollar una adecuada producción de semillas y frutos.
Bueno, las aves son importantes por muchas razones, por razones de ecosistemas, de conservación, por razones de medio ambiente, pero también son importantes por transmitir tantas sensaciones, ¿no? a los humanos. Las aves ayudan a calmar, a disfrutar, a dar alegría, a crear curiosidad, a despertar interés en muchos de sus procesos, de sus vidas. También pueden ser una fuente de ingreso. Las empresas o las personas que se dedican al aviturismo es una manera económica muy hermosa de tener ingresos al mismo tiempo que se conservan, ¿no?
Existen otros seres emplumados que comparten con diversas especies de animales un rol ecológico fundamental para ayudar a llevar a cabo la polinización. Los colibríes son unas aves fantásticas de vuelo espectacular que cumplen un papel muy importante en la polinización de diversas especies de plantas y árboles de nuestros bosques. Una labor vital para la preservación de los ecosistemas. Son las únicas aves que pueden volar en reversa y se encuentran entre las aves más astutas, pues poseen un cerebro más desarrollado que el del resto de las aves en comparación con su cuerpo. Este representa casi un 4.5% de su masa corporal. Poseen una aguda visión. Los colibríes ven colores que los seres humanos solo podemos imaginar. Su capacidad está mucho más desarrollada que la nuestra, pues cuentan con una percepción del color mucho más desarrollada y sensible a luces como la ultravioleta. Esto les permite ampliar su rango de colores visibles y les permite percibir tonalidades invisibles para otros seres, lo que les permite encontrar comida, deslumbrar a sus compañeros, escapar de los depredadores y navegar por diversos terrenos. A pesar de su cuerpo ligero, vuelan distancias entre 50 y hasta 95 kilómetros por hora gracias a su poderosa musculatura pectoral que puede representar el 30% de su masa corporal. Hay aproximadamente 350 especies de colibríes en el mundo, de los cuales 150 están en Colombia.
¿Por qué Colombia es importante para las aves? Porque Colombia es un país mega diverso y a su vez es un país con una riqueza, no tanto en biodiversidad, pero también en geográficamente, ¿sí? Tiene 2 océanos, tiene 3 cordilleras y tiene varios biomas, desde los páramos que sabemos hasta los valles, hasta el llanos, el Amazonas, parte del Amazonas. Y así pues toda la diversidad que sumerge de ahí pueda sobrevivir. Entonces la biodiversidad tiene suficiente capacidad de mantenerse en esa riqueza de pisos térmicos y de ecosistemas y ecotonos que ofrece el país, ¿sí?
Colombia es súper importante porque somos el país número 1 en aves. Tenemos más de 1954 especies y al estar en la parte media del trópico tenemos migraciones australes, boreales y lo cual nos muestra una mayor cantidad que los demás países.
Pues es el país puntero pues en número, en biodiversidad, en avifauna y eso hace que su cantidad de aves, su cantidad de especies sea atractivo a nivel mundial y sea un foco de biodiversidad como tal. Aparte de la biodiversidad de avifauna, de biodiversidad como tal, conservar las aves en este país que es de los países más ricos en aves, quiere decir que estamos llamados a conservar los ecosistemas y la biodiversidad en general. Detrás de las aves están otros mamíferos, están otras especies, es decir, donde hay aves es porque definitivamente hay un entorno sano y saludable para ellas.
Es muy importante que los colombianos también tengamos conciencia de la riqueza con la cual hemos sido bendecidos, una riqueza biológica única. Colombia es por metro cuadrado el país más biodiverso del mundo y eso pues tiene unas implicaciones también y unas responsabilidades que debemos asumir como colombianos al tener tanta especie y tantas manifestaciones de vida. Entonces, pues el llamado es a que primero conozcamos esa gran variedad, de que nos informemos, de que seamos bastante ansiosos, ¿no? por relacionarnos y por conocer estas aves, estos mamíferos y todas estas especies. Y una vez podamos conocer, pues podemos derivar en procesos de conservación de la misma. Es bien sabido que nadie conserva lo que no conoce y pues no va a proteger lo que no ama, ¿no? Entonces es muy importante que también las diferentes organizaciones ambientales, públicas y privadas apunten a la conservación de las especies.
Las aves importan por múltiples e innegables razones. Importan por derecho propio. Son indicadores sensibles de la riqueza biológica y de las condiciones ambientales. Son vitales para sostener esas mismas condiciones biológicas y ambientales. La clave para la protección y gestión de las diversas especies de aves, bien sea amenazadas o en peligro de extinción, es entender su relación con su ambiente y la situación de sus poblaciones para lograr su conservación y disfrutar de su presencia para siempre.
So how did everyone enjoy the documentary? All right, I see some hand clapping. Fantastic. Good. I like what you said, Barbara. The film inspires hope. So thank you all so much for taking some time out of your day to learn a little bit more about birding in Colombia. I know there was an issue with the audio at the beginning, so I apologize for that. I will send out the link to the video. It is on YouTube, so you can, if you'd like to watch it again or share it with a family member or friend, you are welcome to do that. With that, we would love to hear your questions for Mauricio. You're welcome to put a question in the chat or just unmute yourself and ask it out loud. I have one in the chat that someone sent to me. They asked, Mauricio, why did you want to film about birds specifically? And you're on mute.
Kendra, you can translate me?
Yeah, porque quisiste filmar sobre las aves.
No, sí, okay.
Oh yeah, of course. Sorry.
Kendra, pues una de las razones fue por el programa que Kendra también lideró con Audubon. Pues aquí
So
aprendí
one of the
mucho,
reasons,
aprendí mucho de
pasito por
aves.
pasito.
Ok, aprendí mucho de aves.
One of the reasons was the program that Mauricio and I met through with the National Audubon Society.
Ahí aprendí demasiado sobre aves y me comenzó a enamorar mucho más el tema. Ya antes venía haciendo fotografía, pero con Audubon aprendí demasiado sobre aves y me interesó más aún.
So he learned so much with the program, and he was already interested in birds and photography, but that program opened up his eyes even more.
Y tenía un reto hace mucho tiempo personal de hacer algo así, comenzar a hacer algo así, y pues lógicamente la oportunidad que me dio Friends of Colombia de hacerlo, pues me animó mucho más a recorrer el departamento y el municipio para hacer esto. No lo pude hacer, ok.
Yeah, thank you. He's had a personal challenge that he's been wanting to do for himself of creating a documentary just like this. So the opportunity that Friends of Colombia has given him has not only allowed him to be able to accomplish this allowed him to travel to new corners of the Department of Colombia. Where he lives, the Valle de Cuaca.
Kendra?
Kendra, you're cutting up a little bit. Are you able to hear us?
Kendra is freezing. We lost Kendra.
We lost Kendra. That's okay. I can help finish if
Thank you, Gina. Ok, para terminar, al principio quería hacerlo solo en Yumbo, pero pues por la época en que quería hacerlo en Yumbo, ustedes no sé si se dieron cuenta, pero hubo una serie de problemas por la pandemia, pero también por orden público, por el tema de las protestas sociales, y en Colombia vivimos varios meses de conflicto social, entonces me dificultó mucho hacerlo en mi propio municipio, me tocó ir a hacerlo a otros sitios.
All right. So Mauricio says that he wanted to do the documentary exclusively in Yumbo, where he's from, but there was a lot of social problems at the time and lots of civil unrest. So it caused some difficulties for the filming.
Y pues por eso pues finalmente convertí el proyecto en algo más del departamento del Valle del Cauca que solo de Yumbo. Entonces espero que haya estado dentro de lo que estaban esperando ustedes como
So he says he
importantes.
expanded the project to include the entire department of the Valle de Cuaca, and he hopes that you enjoyed learning more about the birds of Valle de Cuaca. Great.
Questions?
Any other questions?
I have a question. You
Go ahead, Jenny.
mentioned that you were going to put this on something so that we could go back and send it to friends or look at it again. Where did you say I could find it?
So it is on YouTube, which is the website for videos. When this is finished, I will send another email to everyone who registered with the link. So it's online and you can
Tell
watch.
us how to do it. All right, thank you.
You're so welcome.
Greg.
Greg, you're on mute as well, so you'll have to unmute your microphone so we can hear you. No, you're welcome to type it in the chat if that works better. Oh, there you go. You're off mute now.
Okay.
I can hear you. Go ahead.
I just wanted to thank you for sending the link. And one reason is that a friend of mine who is a birding guide in Iguazu Falls National Park in Argentina was going to try to join us today, and I see that didn't work. He'll really appreciate this video. I appreciate the link you're sending and all the efforts involved in making this available, and let you know that your effort is going to be spreading way beyond Colombia. How's that?
Dice que un amigo de Argentina que trabaja en el Parque Nacional de Iguazú quiso llegar hoy y asistir el documental, pero no pudo asistir. Pero gracias por el enlace. Entonces vamos a poder difundir el video a personas mucho más allá de Colombia. Por eso le agradezco mucho.
Gracias.
Bien dicho.
Yes. And thank you so much, Greg, for mentioning. I mean, we could not provide small grants without the support of our Friends of Colombia members. So we really appreciate all of you for supporting us throughout the years. Right. Any other questions for Mauricio? I have another one that was sent through email. It says, you know, how are you able to get both the shots of the person right there as well as all of the aerial shots? They were curious about the filmography. Okay, voy a traducir, como Kendra está teniendo dificultades. Están preguntando sobre la cámara y cómo se pudo grabar video cerca de las personas y también el video aéreo.
Ok,
Desde
sí.
muy lejos. ¿Cómo es este proceso?
El proceso es, yo voy al territorio con una mochila, con un dron, con una cámara y varios tipos de lentes que me permiten, pues, por un lado filmar a las aves y por otro lado hacer las entrevistas. De hecho, fueron 2 cámaras diferentes para las entrevistas y una cámara con un lente muy grande para las aves. Y pues soy yo, con toda esa cantidad de equipo, pues lo llevo y lo organizo y hago las tomas que quiero hacer. Pienso primero qué toma voy a hacer y luego pues voy y la ejecuto. Pero se utilizaron varias cámaras y un dron y varios lentes.
Okay, so Mauricio says he has a camera with various lens sizes. He also has a drone that he uses to get all of the aerial shots. And when he's filming, he decides how close or how far he wants the subject to be. And it's just him and his mochila, his bag, and the cameras. So it's a one-man show. So he's the one basically directing and filming and producing the entire documentary. Great. Great. Any other questions? Well, with that, I think we are set. I will send a follow-up email, like I mentioned, with the link so you can watch the video on your own and share with friends. And Mauricio, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. We are so thankful to see the video come to life and to share the documentary with our membership. Also, thank you to Kendra for joining us today. And she mentioned in the chat, if you are interested in birding in Colombia, she is an excellent resource and she knows many local bird guides.
Thank you, really thank you both by the opportunity to do this reality. It was a great experience for me. I really appreciate that all your efforts to do the financing for these projects.
Mhm.
Thank you for that. I really appreciate.
Absolutely. And here are some of your supporters right in the Zoom room. So
And-
thank you all.
I'm sorry for my English. Really,
No, it's
really sorry.
fantastic. No need to apologize. Thank you all again. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. And please, if there's anything you